Madam President, it was just about 10 days ago that a tornado struck Harrisburg, Illinois. This is a picture of some of the devastation. It doesn't tell the story. I've been a child of Illinois and grew up in what we consider to be Tornado Alley all my life. Being dragged out of bed in the middle of the night with the air raid siren blaring by my dad to head down to the basement was just one of the rites of passage. Luckily, our home was never hit, but we saw a lot of homes that were. And they might have some shingles torn off and some siding ripped away, some windows broken, maybe in the worst case, a roof actually lifted off the house. But this case here was an extraordinary one. The picture can't even depict the story. It was a level 4 tornado, and level 5 is the highest. 175-mile-an-hour winds were winds more powerful than Hurricane Katrina. And it hit this little town of Harrisburg, Illinois, and about 20 miles away, the town of Ridgway, Illinois. I went down and took a look, saw homes that had been torn off their slab foundations and tossed around like toys. 7 people died as a result of this tornado. There might have been more, but it was a tornado that struck at about 5 a.m. and many people were home. Had they been outside or shopping in one of the malls that was just obliterated, many more people would have died. But fortunately, more didn't. The heroic efforts by the local people at every single level really made me proud to represent that state and to be, at least in my family, to have roots in that part of my state. It was a great outpouring of caring, affection, and even bravery as people rescued those who were lost and covered by the debris. The Red Cross was on the scene right away. The Illinois Emergency Management Agency was there as well. Everybody pitched in, both in Harrisburg and in Ridgway. We finished our job and we heard as I was leaving on Saturday, this was 10 days ago, that the federal agencies were on their way this last Monday, a week ago today. I felt confident, Governor Pat Quinn of Illinois felt confident, and our state emergency management director, John Munkin, also felt confident that we would get a federal designation. That is why it was absolutely stunning when we learned yesterday that FEMA turned down these communities. Take a look at this shopping center. I stood by the shopping center. It literally collapsed. Fortunately, no one was in there at 5 a.m. That kind of devastation from 175 miles an hour winds could be seen all over Harrisburg and in the town of Ridgway, where the local Catholic Church was devastated. This decision by FEMA is out of touch with reality. The reality of the damage and the suffering and the reality of this notion that somehow the state and local governments can take care of this. Historically, we have said that when a storm reaches a certain threshold of damage, the federal government steps in. In my time in the House and Senate, I have never, ever questioned that decision. I have stepped up to help every state in the union with disaster assistance, knowing that this could happen to my state. And now when FEMA says we don't qualify for federal assistance, it means that the Small Business Administration is not likely to help businesses in the area with disaster recovery small business loans, for example. As you can see from the photos that I've shown here, the disaster loans are going to be desperately needed by businesses in the area. Harrisburg is going to have a difficult, if not impossible, time coming back from this disaster without help. And our state of Illinois can't do it on its own. Governor Quinn and John Munkin have determined that the damage is just too severe for the state to take care of it. I spoke with the governor this morning. He's going to appeal the FEMA decision. We're joining him. On a bipartisan basis, Senator Kirk's office is joining our office to appeal this FEMA decision. Come Wednesday, in my office here in the U.S. Capitol, we're inviting the administrator of FEMA to come in and make the case as to why this devastation doesn't warrant federal disaster designation. 16,000 people in these small communities have been displaced from their homes. Local leaders and volunteers have turned up from everywhere, but they can't do it alone. We need to have the federal government providing its level of assistance to make sure that these communities are made whole, put back together again, and life goes on. We can never, ever replace the 7 lives that are lost, but let us replace the spirit of those communities with a federal, state, and local cooperation.